Hello, everybody, and welcome to our session, which is going to be around protection. But as always, of course, we will be doing lots of deep rest and some breathing to help our healing and our energy. So, just a few things before we start. The usual things, which are that you don't need to keep looking at the screen if you find it tiring, because I know looking at screens can be tiring. You can just listen to my voice. And the second thing is to please work kindly and mindfully. So that means when we do yoga, first thing is ahimsa, non-violence, and that means being kind to yourself, listening to your inner voice. So if something I say doesn't feel right for you, then listen to your body rather than my suggestion. So really keep a sense of yourself in with this. Um, uh, Thanks. Sorry, I'm just looking at a message, Aisha. Yeah, it's fine to have your camera off if that's okay. Um, Aisha and anybody else, please do have your camera off if that's easier for you. So I'm just going to adjust my camera slightly. Oh, by the way, I've got Nellie here on the yoga mat beside me. If you are looking at the screen, you can see that she's all prepared for the class as well. Yes, so please, one of the things I want to help you to develop in our yoga sessions is a sense of your own agency and taking back your power. And that's actually very aligned to the theme of protection that we're talking about today. So that means if anything I say doesn't sound right for you, you just do what feels right. And if you just feel like lying on your mat and listening to the whole session, that's fine. So I'm going to invite you now to come to a comfortable seated position. But if you're very fatigued and you prefer to lie down, that's all right too. And before we start with our breathing and our mantras, I just want to say something about protection. And I'm always a bit wary when I do this theme, and I know some of you have been to other classes when I've introduced this theme, because what I don't want to do is to make you or introduce more fear where you think, oh goodness, it's a very scary world out there, I need protection, because that in itself is triggering. So I'm not trying to introduce that idea at all. Really, what I'm talking about is we're working on what's known as term as nourishment of spirit, because the stronger our spirit, our inner core can be, the more we are protected from whatever is going on outside us. So, do we need protection then? Well, I think to a certain extent we do, because, there are some rather dark energies out there at the moment. But if we look at what dark energy is, we can see this as the more, the kind of emotions such as fear, shame, anger, resentment. And I'm not saying that we don't all experience those and we don't want to be in denial of these. We don't want to push them away, but neither do we want to focus on them too much. So I'm always saying, for example, I suggest you don't look at the news and you don't put your attention or your awareness on stuff which is dark. So that might even include things like television, which is violent or anxiety provoking. Now, for most of us with long COVID and ME, we've got quite delicate immune systems anyway. Our nervous system's quite immune, so we tend to avoid that kind of thing anyway. But just be aware, as always, about what you're looking at so that you are not just focusing on these darker emotions. And what we would say in yoga is if you do have emotions like fear, which is quite honestly being pumped at us by the media, the idea is that we don't think about it, but we sit with it and we bring light to it. And a bit later on, I'm going to do a short meditation exercise to explain what I mean by that. So there are other antidotes that we can use to help protect our energy. Grounding is a very good one, which means to really feel in your body, to feel your feet on the floor, to feel your bottom on your chair. And we'll do that in a minute. And then being careful of people we mix with, what energies we go into. And I just want to share an anecdote, which is that when I had ME, probably like most of you, I found almost as if it was that my aura was leaky and I could pick up energy from everyone around me. And quite often that would make me very tired, very fatigued very quickly. Since I've recovered, I don't have that so much because I feel much stronger in myself. So I'm able to kind of hold other energies around me. But ME has left me with a gift of being able to read energy. So in a way, it kind of we you could say that's like a psychic ability. I just think it's more of an intuition. I'm much more able to be aware what energies are and what I need to go towards and what I need to draw away from, which is again why I don't look at the news and why we're coming up to the 5th year of COVID. And when we had the daily briefing, which you all remember, I'm sure, within about 4 days, I realized that this was all just pumping fear at us. And although it was quite addictive, I didn't want to watch it because I realized it was just trying to make us all afraid. And that was not good for my immunity. So I stopped watching it. So it's not that I'm in denial about what's going on, but it's just idea that my energy is precious and I want to protect it. Now, the biggest way that we can work with energy, according to my teacher, Kaustov, is if we've been in areas like crowds of people or aeroplanes, for example, he always says we should shower because water is very, very cleansing. And then, of course, there are other things like you might like to use crystals. But what I'm going to do for us this morning is introduce you to a chant. And I'm going to put this in the chat box so that you can actually read it. And if you've been with me before, you'll know this one. It's called Ma Pa He. Mum Pa He. So there it is. But the best way we can protect our energy is to feel strength inside. And even if we're ill and tired, that inner strength is always available to us. So with that said, I now like you just to sit comfortably, thinking about your posture. And if you're lying down, that's fine too. Have your feet on the floor and just take a moment to connect to that feeling of being solid underneath you and that you are supported by the earth. And then have that sense of having your bottom on your chair or whatever it is you're sitting on. And just observe how you are in this moment. So just observe any emotions or thoughts. And observe that they are always changing. So they're not really real because they are always changing. Your thoughts and feelings are no doubt different from how they were an hour ago or how they will be next week. But there's something inside you which is stronger and more permanent than that. So we're now going to take our hand to our heart. And just have a sense of being okay, that you are strong inside. And as you breathe, begin to have a sense of breathing in light into the heart. Prana. Prana is energy. Prana is light. And we say that when we visualize prana, this is a very effective way to move it. So just breathe in prana into your heart on your in-breath. And as you exhale, just relax. And then we're going to do the chant as call and response. So I'm going to chant it to you, Mum, Pa, He. And then you chant it after me to your heart. And we'll do this 3 times. So you breathe in as I chant. Mam pa hi. Mam pa hi. Mam pa hi. And we're going to work a bit more with this chant throughout our yoga session today. And Mam Pahi, it means please protect me, please nourish my spirit. So now as you inhale, have a sense of breathing in courage and strength. As you exhale, release. And then drop your hands back to your knee. Rest your hands on your knee. And just observe first your feet, then your bottom, your hips, and then your hands. And just pick one of those areas, either the feet, the hips, or the hands. And just bring all your awareness to that area. And every time you exhale, just feel yourself releasing tension through that area, through those points, either through the feet, through the bottom, or through the hands. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. And we're going to use the chant again. This time we're going to use it with a little bit of movement. But if you're very fatigued, you can just visualize this. And if you don't want to use the chant, you can just say mentally to yourself, please protect me. So bring the palms together, just remembering intention is very powerful. So I'm going to demonstrate this once. So for this, you might like to look at the screen. So I'm going to breathe in and I'm going to garland myself, taking my hands above my head. And then I'm going to chant my hands back to my heart. Mam pa hi. And again, join in when you're ready. Inhale, circle the arms right around your upper body. Mam pa hi. In your own breathing rhythm, your own pitch. Inhale. Mam pa hi. Do that 2 or 3 times more in your own breathing rhythm, resting out if you're tired. So listen to your body. And when you finish, just rest the hands on the knees. And then when you're ready, take your hands to your heart. And if you like, you can just gently tap on your collarbone and just say to yourself, I am strong. I am invincible. I know it to be true. I am strong. I am invincible. So even if you don't feel physically strong, just know that your spirit is strong. And then when you're ready, please come down to a comfortable lying position if you would like. And of course, if you prefer to remain sitting, you can do so. So if you're lying, you can lie on a bed or a sofa or on the floor. And of course, you can lie on your side or your front, but classically in yoga, we're on our back. It's quite nice to have something under your head and to start with the knees bent. And then think about where you want to place your hands. So classically, the arms are a comfortable distance away from the body, palms turned up. But you might prefer to turn the palms down or to rest them on the belly. So take a moment or two to explore with what makes you feel comfortable. And if you like, you can gently bring the knees together to help your legs, your lower body to feel more relaxed. And then just become aware of the weight of your head and have a sense of your back being supported by the earth. And in particular, just observe the sensation of the tailbone, the lower back against your support. And feel that from your tailbone, just imagine that you've got a root going down, down, down into the earth below to something called the Earth Star within the earth. And as you breathe in, you're going to breathe up nourishment on your in-breath through that taproot, which is coming up through the lower back, bringing up energy and nourishment. And as you breathe out, you breathe down that taproot, down into the earth. So the earth can just take away anything you no longer want to hold on to. And then become aware of your breath. If this is comfortable for you, just noticing the difference between the inhalation and the exhalation. Just observing the breath with curiosity, without judgments. And then if you can, beginning to slow the breath down and breathing through the nose if you're able to. If you can't, that's fine. This is just something to aim for. And then we're going to take one hand to the heart, one to the belly. We're going to breathe into the hand on the belly, thinking of the breath being slow and low, not too deep, just gentle breath into the lower hand, slow and low. And then for the next 3 breaths, like a lullaby on your out breath, if you would like, just chant, or you can say it silently to yourself. Mam pa e. Just to help with the flow of the out breath. And then continue to breathe, just focusing now on the out breath being long and smooth and free. The out breath being the breath that relaxes, detoxifies, releases. And if you want to, you can stretch your legs out now if you don't have back issues, or you can leave them bent. And have the feet apart, comfortably apart, because this helps the lower back to relax. And then I was talking about fear at the beginning of the session as this being something which can drain our energy. And this is something that we want to do our best to protect ourselves from. But what I explained also is that if we have fear or anxiety or any of the more difficult emotions, rather than push them away, we actually need to walk through them in order to release them. So I'm going to do a very gentle meditation with you around this now to explain what I mean. Because for this, we need to feel it somatically in the body and not analyze it in the head. So what I'd like you to do now is to pick an emotion that you might be dealing with now, but something that's not overwhelming. So please, especially as I'm not in the room with you, please don't pick anything that's too difficult. But if you have something you might be working with now that you find a little bit troubling, just bring it to mind. And as you do, just observe how that affects maybe your breathing or your body. And then what I'd like you to do now is to come out of your head, to not think about this, but just to observe whereabouts in your body you feel this feeling. And if you like, you can take your hand there. So it might be your jaw, chest, your belly. And just observe it as a physical sensation. And see if you can bring an aspect of curiosity, such as, oh, this is interesting. What does this feel like in my body? Why is it here? Why is it maybe in my belly or my heart? And then observe if it has a shape or a texture. So you're only observing it physically. Anytime you start thinking about the emotion or the problem, come back to the feeling, the sensation in the body. Does it have a vibration? Does it have a color? And now see if you can breathe in light to this. So you're not resisting it, you're not pushing it away, but into this physical sensation, you're breathing in light and compassion. So it comes back to what I talk about a lot, which is allowing everything to be as it is, not resisting our experience, but inviting all parts of ourselves into our experience. Just allowing everything to be, bringing in compassion, bringing in kindness to this physical sensation, coming out of the head, just staying in the body if you can. And now leave the sensation and just observe how the body is as a whole. Observe how the mind is, breath, energy. And again, just see if you can allow everything to be as it is. So this is something that you can use to move through more difficult emotions, but work very, very gently. And always, always don't pick anything that's too difficult or overpowering. So what we're going to do now, we're going to chant first to our Manipura chakra at the belly, then Anahata chakra at the heart, and then Agnya chakra at the third eye. So take your hands to the belly. And we're going to chant 3 times Ma Pa He. I'd like you, as always, to do this in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch. So I'll start with you, but yours pitch and breathing rhythm might be different from mine. And if you don't want to chant, you can just take your hands there and breathe. So with the hands on the belly, we'll start together. Inhale now. Mam Pa He. So twice more to this center. Then move to the heart 3 times. Move to the eyes 3 times. When you've finished, I'm just going to do a little bit of incredibly gentle movement with the chant. But if you don't want to do the movement, you can just do the chant. So we're going to do a little bit into bridge posture. So bend the knees again and have the heels parallel close to the buttocks. I am trying to show you this, although you can just use my voice, but I have got a giant dog on my mat, so it's a little bit tricky today, and I can't disturb her. Anyway, so come onto your back, have the hands down beside the body with the hands beside the hips. Feet are parallel, heels coming into the buttocks. If you have something under your head, remove it, but just lengthen the neck by tucking the chin into the chest. And then we're very gently going to press on the hands and the feet. And then we're going to come down as we chant on the out breath. Mam Pa He. Now, if that's enough for you, rest out. Otherwise, you can do that once or twice more. So you inhale to lift the hips to come onto the shoulder. Keep the knees stable, keep the back of the neck long. Mam Pa He. So you breathe in to lift into bridge, you chant the spine down. So in your own breathing rhythm, don't push it. Remember to rest out when you need to. And when you finish the counter pose, just hug the knees into the chest, rocking out the spine from side to side. And then when you're ready, and if you would like, roll to one side. And then we're going to do a little bit of movement from the cat. So come up onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You can use padding under your knees if you like, and you can, if you want to do cat, but you've got difficult knees or you find this difficult, you can also do this from a chair. So my hands are under my shoulders, my fingers are spread, knees are under my hips. And then I'm just going to take my weight slightly over my hips, so I'm not putting too much weight on my wrists. And from this position, we're going to do a couple of movements, very gentle ones. We're going to start by breathing in and lifting the heart slightly. And then as we exhale, navel comes to the spine as we arch the spine. Inhaling to lift the heart. Exhaling to arch the spine, navel to spine. So just try that a few times so that we're just opening up and getting some movement into the back. And then come back to a neutral cat. And then the second part of the movement is with a chant. So we breathe in when we're in neutral cat, and then we're going to chant our bottom towards our heels. Mam, pa, he. Drop the head. Inhale to come forward into neutral cat. Mam, pa, he. Just try that a few times in your own breathing rhythm. Just introducing gentle movement into the spine, bit of flexibility into the hips. And then when you want to rest, you can rest down, if you like, into child's pose. So opening the knees, stretching the arms out in front of you, taking the forehead down. Or if that's not comfortable, rest on your back or place your fists on your mat so you can rest your forehead on your mat. Cushion under your bottom perhaps. Just taking some resting breaths. I always suggest pose of a child is with the knees wide apart so the diaphragm is still free. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to our deep rest, our yoga nidra practice. So taking your time and making sure you won't be disturbed, please get cushions or blankets, eye masks, anything you need so that you can rest for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes comfortably. And I will turn my camera off and I'll put my camera on again when we have finished. Just make sure you're really comfortable. I'll give you a few minutes to get yourself prepared. So the two things we remember with our yoga nidra is if you have a safe resource, please think of it now. So this is something that if at any time you feel overwhelmed in the practice, you can just come to your safe resource. So a safe resource might be somewhere in your body where you can bring your awareness, such as your feet or the softness of your hands or your breath. Or it might be in your imagination, the memory or the idea of a loved one, like a friend, relative, teacher, or a pet. Or it even might be something physical, like a stone that you hold on to. So just think about your safe resource. And also, if you have a sankalpa, think of that too, because I'm going to direct you to use that. So this would be a positive resolution that you can set at the beginning and the end of the practice when guided. Something in the present moment that you don't change, you always use the same one in your yoga nidra. So it's something like health flows through me, or I am filled with happiness and joy. Because these intentions, when the mind is quiet, are very powerful, and they do eventually manifest for us. So as you lie, just be aware of everyone else in our virtual space on the same mental level. Everyone here emitting the same frequency of vibration, of connection, community, friendship, and peace. Let your body become still. Be aware of your body in a state of relaxation. Just stay connected to the sound of my voice. If you have a sankalpa or a positive resolution, just say this to yourself 3 times slowly with awareness. We're now going to take a journey throughout the body. So keep listening to me. Don't analyze or concentrate too hard. And just become aware of your right hand thumb. You might like to mentally say right hand thumb. Second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, ankle, heel, top of the foot, sole of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Now we go to the left side. Become aware of the left hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf muscle, ankle, heel, top of the foot, sole of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, back of the head, back of the neck, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, right buttock, left buttock, right heel, left heel. Now the front of the body, top of the head, forehead, right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, middle of the eyebrows, right eye, left eye, right nostril, left nostril, whole nose, right cheek, left cheek, upper lip, lower lip, both lips together, chin, neck, right collarbone, left collarbone, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, middle of the chest, navel, upper abdomen, lower abdomen, right leg, left leg, right arm, left arm, whole of the head, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body. Become aware of the body lying on your support and the contact of your body where you were touching, and bring your awareness to that particular point of contact. The heels and your support. Just note where the point is, where your heels touch your support. Now from the top of the head and your support, the back and your support, right hand and the support, left hand and the support, right elbow, left elbow, buttocks, heels. Just feel and imagine all the meeting points of the body and your support, the whole body and your support. Just imagine in your mind that the body is becoming very heavy. Awaken the idea of heaviness in the body. Gradually feel the body becoming heavier and heavier. The head is becoming heavy. Right palm heavy, left palm heavy. Both arms and shoulders are heavy. The back is heavy. The buttocks and the groin are heavy. Right thigh heavy. Left thigh heavy. Both kneecaps are heavy. Both legs are heavy. Both arms heavy. Whole head is heavy. The eyes are heavy. The lips are heavy. The whole body is heavy. Keep on thinking the whole body is heavy and intensify the feeling of heaviness. And gradually relax part by part. And feel the whole body becoming lighter and lighter. The head is light, so light it could rise from the support. The right and left palms are lighter. Both arms, both shoulders are light. The back is light. Buttocks and groin are light. Right thigh is light. Left thigh is light. The right heel and the left heel are light. The whole body is light and weightless. As your body becomes weightless, you feel as if it was rising from your support, as if your whole body is a giant cloud. Cotton represents lightness and steel represents heaviness. Now practice these two experiences alternately. The whole body is steel. Change the idea. The whole body is cotton, as light as cotton. Again, change the idea. The whole body is like steel, heavy steel. And now change the idea. The whole body is as light as cotton. Now bring your awareness to your eyebrow center. Imagine a pink rose, waves of the ocean, blue sky in the evening, tiny shining stars studded in the heavens, a high mountain range with snow-capped peaks, white sandy beach, virgin forest with tall and dense trees, a dove, a galloping horse, a full moon, a mountain stream, a lonely rock in the mountains, a garden of blooming flowers, the sun rising, chirping birds, an elephant, sound of a bell ringing, a calm and quiet evening in a moonlit valley, a mountain stream, refreshing cold water in the mountain stream, an experience of exhilaration. We're now going to go through the chakras. So develop awareness of the chakras and their positions as I name them, imagining protection as we go through them. Muladhara chakra at the base of the spine. Awareness of Muladhara. Now Svadhisthana at the sacrum. Behind the navel, Manipura, your sun center. And now behind the heart is Anahata, the heart chakra. At the throat is Vishuddhi, the throat chakra. At the third eye, the space between the eyebrows is Ajna. At the crown of the head is Sahasrara. Now, become aware of your whole body. Just think, I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am with other people in this virtual space. Without opening your eyes, just become aware of your own external environment. Just say to yourself, I am practicing Yoga Nidra. Everyone here is practicing Yoga Nidra. I'm visualizing my body and feeling the protection and warmth and friendship of this group. If you have a sankalpa, a resolution, use it now by saying it to yourself silently 3 times. If you wish to remain resting, please do so. Otherwise, still with your eyes closed, just become aware of any sounds that you can hear. Any smells or taste, the touch of your clothes on your skin. And then begin to make small movements, maybe with your fingers and your toes. And then larger movements, whatever feels right for you. So that might be stretching. Taking your time. When you're ready, you roll to one side and stay there for a moment. And then when you're ready, please come up to a comfortable sitting position. Giving yourself time to come to. Knowing that you've just taken part in a practice which is deeply healing. And then maybe rubbing the hands together and palming the eyes. Just opening and closing the eyes into the darkness of the palms. And then releasing. And just looking around your space, feeling yourself Coming back into the body, coming back into the present moments, deepening the breath. And I was talking at the beginning of the session about protection and how this is often translated as nourishment of spirit. So it's about strengthening ourselves so that we feel courageous and heart-centered, and that certain things such as fear, being exposed to lots of fear and chaos, that's the kind of thing we need protection of. What I didn't say, and of course it's really important, is what gives us most protection are the higher vibrations such as love and peace. So I'd like you to take your hands to your heart now and just feel into the love that's here in this community of us all practicing yoga together, coming together with joy and peace and friendship. So these all bring us protection from these lower vibrations, because yoga, I'm always saying this, it's about prana, it's about energy. We want to raise our vibration because that's the best protection we can have. So with that said, we're going to chant together to our hearts if you would like. Everything's always a choice. Mam Pahi before we close this session. So this time we'll do it together. So when you're ready, take an in-breath with me. Your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch, of course. Mam Pahi. Mam Pahi. Ma Pahi. When you're ready, open your eyes and your arms, and open your arms wide as if you're touching the hands of everybody here in this space. And we're going to chant together once more, Mam Pahi, so that our whole group is protected here with our friendship and our love. So when you're ready, take an in-breath. Ma Pahi. So we're just sharing this protection and this friendship to everyone. And then drop your hands to your knees, close your eyes, just sit quietly for a moment, observing how you're feeling now. Mind, body, emotion, breath, energy. Just allowing everything to be as it is. And when you're ready, we'll just bring the palms together to the Namaste Mudra. Take a bow to our hearts, to the light in our hearts. Thank you all very much for being here. So thank you. Just to say, I'm not going to be here next week because I'm away on a course with my teacher, Cowstub. So the class is being covered Monday and Tuesday by Amy, who I know lots of you know. She does lots of somatic work, so she's a fabulous teacher. And I'll see you all the following week. So wishing you a wonderful fortnight. And as I said at the beginning of the session, I don't want to bring in fear by saying that we need protection. I just want to give you tools which help you to stay in the light and in peace. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you in a fortnight. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Lots of love.